All right, the moment of truth. This is insane. Look at that. Hey guys, Kapper here. Welcome back. You are not going to believe this story. I thought I had bad luck with mice. Now it's rats or a rat. And you're not going to believe how this unfolds. And it's still going on because I'm going to tell you this thing is smart. Wait till you see all the traps and stuff it evaded. So let's get into it. At least you know it's a rat now. We didn't know what it was. A few weeks ago, we saw one of my sunflower seed bags eaten at the bottom, and we're like, oh great, we got mice. So we put out mouse traps and stuff and didn't think anything of it. A few days went by and we started seeing things moved in the garage. Like a pair of gloves. Sharon's gloves were moved under her car one night. And we're, what the heck? And then a little nest thing was like made under my truck. And now we're like what? This ain't a mouse. So I got a couple live traps. I set them up in there. That's how I had it set up. And this thing got tripped again because the door gets stuck. So it's outsmarting this thing. It's whatever it is. And I put some poison blocks in there. And the live traps, I smeared peanut butter on them. And I put my boots on top for weight, and I put a jug of water on there because we didn't know what it was at that point. We were thinking squirrel, chipmunk, baby raccoon, obviously something that could move physical objects around the garage. So this thing evaded the live traps. A day or two after I put them in, my boots were knocked off of the live trap. And these are big, heavy leather work boots. They were knocked off of it, and we're like, all right, what's going on here? What kind of critter can do that? And she's looking at me and I'm looking at her and saying, okay, game's over, stop playing around here. But meanwhile, there's sunflower shells all over in the garage. So it actually went into both of them live traps and somehow cleaned all of the peanut butter that was stuck onto the metal. It somehow wiped it all clean without ever tripping one of them things. So we're like, all right, we have to find this thing. It's been like 2 weeks now. So we moved all the vehicles out of the garage and we pulled everything out, figuring we're gonna flush this thing out. Nothing happened. We couldn't find anything. Well, then we're like, well, let's check the Polaris, since that's been sitting in here the whole time. So sure enough, we go outside, because it was parked outside, and we start poking around in there, and I lift the seat, and sure enough, I see a bunch of sunflower seeds. I'm like, oh, we got some evidence here. And all of a sudden, this rat stuck its head out, like this far away, because I was down in looking in there, and I almost freaked a little. I'm like, it's a rat! So we really wanted it gone. Obviously, we don't want rats infesting. So I poked around in there. I told her that we lifted the bed up, and I said, you watch over here. And if I'd poke around there, it would run up here. And if she'd poke around, it would run back inside somewhere. It wouldn't leave. Because our first plan was I grabbed a shotgun. Our first plan was, all right, I'll stand by the edge of the woods because most likely it's going to run that way because of our cars being there. And I said, you poke around in it with a golf club, it'll run out and I'll hopefully finish it off. Well, that's when we figured out it didn't want to leave. It did not want to leave that Polaris. So now we're figuring, all right, it's nesting. It's what it's trying to do. It's trying to build these nests in there. And one other thing in the garage is we found bird feathers, like in a little clump.
All right, now this is weird. There are bird feathers. Little bird feathers around the trap. Did you put them there? Because I sure didn't.
So once we found it was in a Polaris, then I set some poison blocks in there where it was at, and those 3 disappeared. So we thought, well, maybe it'll eat some, but we're like, no, it's nesting. It's been really smart so far. So we got some sticky traps. that was the next thing. And keep in mind, this is going on over 2 to 3 weeks. Also, at the same time, Sharon's car starts acting funny. So she's been dealing with that for like a week now. Multiple sensors are going out, check engine light, and they can't figure it out. Yeah, you see where that's going. That's actually ongoing right now today. It's back in for the second time today because they put 2 new sensors in for $1,300. And she drove away and the check engine light came back on. So it's back in again right now. All it takes is for that stupid thing to chew a few wires. So anyways, I put 2 sticky traps in there in spots where I knew it was at, obviously, because I saw its little nesting stuff. And take a look at this. You're not going to believe this. I checked it 2 days in a row, nothing. Look at this little sneaky thing. And now these are baited sticky traps. They have bait on them. Whatever it is, it smells good to them. That thing knew it was something different. And look at this. It experimented. And I kid you not, I don't make any of this stuff up. It tested it with one little paw. And it got off, obviously, and just left this one little light print. There's no doubt. That's 100%. That's a rat print. This is insane. Look at that. That's a frickin' rat print right there. That's how smart them things are. At least this one is. He saw something new in there, and he just barely touched it. This is a rat from heck. So I don't know if he's still in there or not, honestly. It's a little sucker, to say the least. So I was supposed to take the Polaris in today for issues. Yes, issues. Now, guess what? These issues started happening after we picked that barn. It was fine before that. Now all of a sudden it's not shifting right. And it don't want to start right. Just all of a sudden. And this rat's been living in there for 3 weeks now. But it looks like it took some of its nesting stuff, so it might have went in the woods. So here's where we're at right now today. I think today's June 30th. Take a look. I put 2 snap traps in the front of the Polaris. I opened the front so it can get into a new area. I put cheese and peanut butter on that. I sprinkled some sunflower seeds there, some loose ones, so it has to mess around there. And I took a poison block and I screwed it in with a screw. So it either has to chew it in half and bring it to its nest, or hopefully it'll take a few bites. But this thing is insane. I can't believe how smart this dang thing is. And we're deathly afraid of getting a rat infestation. All from that one barn pick. There's no doubt that's how we picked it up from. No doubt at all. So stay tuned. This is insanity. It really is insanity out in the country. And it just like gives you bad dreams. You know, rats in your garage and in your vehicles. Stay tuned. All right, the moment of truth. Finally we got it. Pulled itself out of the trap. But there it is. Warranty, so that was good. Here we go. So since I know a lot of you guys are really inquisitive on the fallout of this thing as far as Sharon's car and the Polaris, it appears that it was coincidental stuff. The Polaris was warranty items that had been recalled, although I did have to have them take the seats out, take the back out, and fish out that rat's nest because we figured out it was up behind the seats. And as far as we know, it wasn't anything to do with Sharon's car. It was just the car's getting old and sensors blew on it. So in that sense, we're lucky. But I'm going to show you this critter here once more, and hopefully this thing is over. There's the culprit. I just grabbed it by the tail and chucked it. I didn't want to play with it anymore, but it'll make a fine meal for something. Someone will see that white belly sticking up, and that'll be the end of that. Whew. Yuck. Can we have our Polaris back now? Can we have our Polaris back now? Can we have our Polaris back now?